Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to Accessible 3D. My name is Edis, I'm 33 years old, and I am 100% blind. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I, by the use of accessible software and a text-based CAD program called OpenSCAD, can do 3D designing and printing independently. So strap in and yeah, I hope you'll enjoy the video. Now, before we get into all the details, all the technical stuff, I just briefly want to take a moment to tell you a little bit about myself, my ideas for this channel, and my hopes and wishes and dreams and all that. So I hope you'll stick around to hear all of that. Now, as I started by saying, I'm 100% blind. I lost my sight at the age of 2. Due to my immune system attacking itself. It's something called sarcoidosis, something like that. I don't know how you pronounce it in English, but something along those lines. What happens is that my immune system attacks itself, thereby destroying my vision. But luckily, it didn't damage my brain, or I like to think so. So yeah. Now, back in 2023, I think it was around September or something like that, I participated in a course on 3D designing. This was aimed at people who are blind and visually impaired, and how to, utilize 3D and 3D technology to make the lives of people who are, blind, more easy, more accessible. The funny thing was that there were no blind people there. All of the participants were sighted. And I found that quite curious. So me being me, I was like, well, I can see a lot of potential for this. Suddenly I'm able to print out this, which is, so I'm a huge fantasy nerd, fantasy fan. Maybe some of you can recognize this. This is a model of Minas Tirith, which is the main city from Lord of the Rings. And this gives me a whole new dimension of, understanding and imagination. Now, this is just for fun, but you can imagine how this could be used in biology classes, in physics, in, let's say I have to learn a new area. I could print out that area if it's designed and, get a tactile understanding of what I'm looking at. So I could see a huge potential for this. Also, let's say my cane breaks, I could just print and design a new part for that rather than, buying a completely new cane. So yeah, I could see a huge potential in this, and I was like, well, I have to test this out. I gotta try to figure out how this works and if this is something that's available to me. So I started researching, and like a month after that, I bought this wonderful machine here. It's a Bamboo Lab X1 carbon combo with an AMS, so I can print multicolor, which is very useful for a completely blind person. Jokes aside, it's pretty useful for visually impaired people. Like if you have to print something which is white on black or different colors. And also, even though I'm blind, I like having colors described. So yeah, I started printing a lot of stuff, and then I got the idea of trying to design stuff myself, and back and forth, I discovered OpenSCAD, which is like a text-based CAD program where I basically write everything I wish to design, which I'll be showing you a bit later. So I dived into that, and yeah, you'll be amazed hopefully at what is possible and what actually what you can do without sight, even without sight. I really hope that you want to share this video, maybe share the channel, because what I really want and hope for is that 3D is more widely spread. I'm of the opinion that every like learning center or school or just workplace or anywhere where there are people with disabilities, this should be, you know, almost obligatory to have a 3D printer. And I need to emphasize that this channel and what I do here is not just for people who are blind and people who are visually impaired. This is as well for, you know, sighted people. Maybe you're a designer. This could be like hopefully inspirational to you and how you could make your designs more accessible. Maybe this is for you who would like to start designing but you don't know where to start. I mean, OpenSCAD is basically a program that can be used and that is aimed at, you know, programmers and people who would like maybe a more text-based approach to designing. So yeah, I really hope you'll stick around for this, and I hope you'll share it. Now, a lot of people have asked me, hey, where can I, how can I buy your designs, and how can I support you, and all that kind of stuff. And I will say that all of my designs will be available for free at my website. You can find all that in the description. So that all of that will be for free. And yeah, you can just go online and download it and print it and modify it, do whatever you want. So yeah, be free to do that, and I hope you'll do that. Now, if you really want to help me out, I would really appreciate you sharing this, and yeah, sharing the story, sharing the channel, the video, all that good stuff. My big dream, I guess, you know, I like to dream big, and sometimes it's kind of out of bounds, but yeah, whatever. But I see a huge potential for like maybe a social enterprise or whatever, you know, where you have people with disabilities. Maybe you have a person with autism who loves just designing, but just doesn't fit into the, should we say, like the normal job market. Well, you could have like a social enterprise where that person could sit and, you know, do designs. Then you could have blind people servicing the printers. You could have blind people like doing designs, all that good stuff. So somehow I hope that this could evolve into something that could impact not just me, but like people around me. I want to like break down the barriers between people with disabilities and people without disabilities, and you know, just to spread the word of what is actually possible. So with all that out of the way, with all that storytelling, I really hope you enjoy it. I really hope you can share your perspective of what you're doing, and yeah, I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video. Let's jump into how to do the designing and how I do designing. I will show you one of my designs. It's a cup holder for a baby stroller. So I'll show you that, and hopefully you'll like it. So let's get into it. So here we are.
Max Emmerich.
Right now, for those of you who can see my screen, you'll see that I have an open window from Notesblock with a lot of code written in that particular Notesblock. And I will just briefly explain to you why I'm using Notesblock and how my screen reader works and all that good stuff. So Notesblock, the reason why I'm using that is because, well, it's easier for me to write my code using the Notesblock editor. There is an extension where you can, merge Notesblock with OpenSCAD. I haven't had the chance to set that up just yet. So for now, I'll just be using my Notesblock. And then I use a screen reader called JAWS, JAWS, JAWS for Windows. JAWS, it stands for Job Accessible works with speech, something like that, something along those lines. Now, basically what the screen reader does is that every time I press something, it will basically tell me what I'm pressing on, what I'm interacting with, what links I'm clicking on, all that stuff. Now, the idea with JAWS is that you can navigate your PC basically just by using the keyboard. So without going too much into detail about that, that's just basically how it works. And you will hear it speak a lot and a little bit when I start explaining this code. Now, the code that you see here and that some of you who can't see it will hear in a little bit is OpenSCAD. And this code is written for a cup holder. My sister got a baby boy a couple of months ago. Well, it's almost nine months now. He's growing fast. And yeah, they wanted to have like a cup holder for their baby stroller when they were out and about for like maybe, you know, having a Coke or a Fanta or whatever. So I set out on a mission to try and design that, which was, well, for me, quite complex, and you'll understand why in a little bit. So what I first needed to do was to find the standard measurements of Coca-Cola cans. And so what I did was that I found, you know, the standard of a Coca-Cola, and then I wanted also, like, if you wanted an energy booster like Monster Energy or Red Bull or whatever, you know, the tall, more slender cans, so that you could actually have both have a cola can or maybe a Red Bull or whatever you need. So yeah, I started out by researching that, and then I went to like a baby store called Baby Sam, where I felt you know, some different cup holders, so that I could have an idea of what to look for, and the clamping mechanism and all that good stuff. And after that, I started working. And initially, I wanted to have like a snap fit that you just kind of push onto the handlebar, but it kept breaking, so I designed something else. But let's go through the code, and I'll comment on it and tell you what it does and how it works. I'm not going to like explain all the mathematics about this right now, because then this video will be way too long, and that will be for another video. Maybe I'll do like a short course or whatever on OpenSCAD. We'll see how it all goes. For now, I'm just gonna walk you through the code and tell you what I'm doing here, and yeah, what happens. So if we start from the very top here,
/ cup holder for stroller,
and the // it sort of tells OpenSCAD that this is not something that something that should be taken into the code itself. This is just a comment. And for those of you who are designing in OpenSCAD, both blind and sighted alike, do remember to comment your code thoroughly. Your brain and everything else, and everyone else who will be looking at the code will thank you later. So be sure to do that. All right, so as you can hear,
/ cup holder for stroller.
It's my heading or whatever, cup holder for stroller.
/ dimensions are in millimeters.
Dimensions are in
/
millimeters.
constants. / increased smoothness of curved surfaces.
Yeah, increase smoothness of curved surfaces. That's fine.
$FN equals 100 semicolon.
So the $FN is just how fine your curves should be. How fine is the resolution of that design.
Blank / star left bracket cup holder dimensions right bracket star /.
All right.
Blank / lower section inner diameter. Lower underline diameter equals 58 semicolon.
So 58. It's basically 58 millimeters, the lower dimensions. And this means that actually, if you wanted to, you could just change this number from 58 to whatever. Well, not exactly whatever, because at some point you'll um, destroy the integrity of the cup holder. But that's the idea of parametric modeling. So yeah, let's go on.
/ upper section inner diameter. Upper underline diameter equals 68 semicolon.
So the upper diameter is 68. And this is to account for, like, the upper diameter to be for standard Coca-Cola cans and the lower to be for Red Bull and Monster Energy and whatnot.
/ slightly larger than the widest part of the interior. Outer underline diameter equals upper underline diameter plus 5 semicolon.
This is just, the overall outer dimensions of how, like, what the diameter is of the overall cup holder.
/ total height of the cup holder. Height equals 110 semicolon.
And that's the total height of the cup holder.
/ thickness of the base.
Thickness of the base.
Base underline thickness equals 3 semicolon. / height of the lower section. Step underline height equals 50 semicolon.
And this means that before it widens out to become like a wider inner diameter, it goes up 50 millimeters and then it widens out. So this, you could also change this if you wanted to have like better stability for like energy, Red Bull cans or whatever.
Blank / star left bracket snap clamp dimensions right bracket / / 125 mm circumference.
So this is for the like clamp, the mechanism that attaches to the handlebar, and you, as you could hear, it said 125
/ 125 mm circumference.
That's the circumference of the handlebar, which means that you could basically, if you have a different circumference, well, you just put it in there.
Handlebar underline circumference equals 125 semicolon. Handlebar underline diameter equals handlebar underline circumference / pi semicolon.
And this is
/ reduced thickness for more flexibility. Clamp underline thickness equals 5 semicolon. / slightly reduced height. Clamp underline height equals 40 semicolon. / increased gap angle for easier attachment. Gap underline angle equals 70 semicolon. Gap underline width equals 30 semicolon. / adjusted to 30 mm. / increased flexibility factor. Flexibility equals 2.5 blank.
So what all of that was is basically, I declare like what should the angle be and what should the flexibility be and how easy or how tough should it be to attach the cup holder.
/ star left bracket Fox dimensions right bracket /
Now this is curious because Fox dimensions, and that's basically because I have another design that I made a while back of a stylized Fox design, and I wanted to make the cup holder a little bit like more unique. So I wanted to like implement the Fox head on the cup holder itself. Now, as you can hear now,
/ Fox parameters. Fox underline length equals 100 semicolon. Fox underline width equals 40 Fox underline height equals ear underline size equals.
What I basically did here, and I wouldn't recommend this, I implemented almost the entire code of the Fox design, but basically I just need the head, which you'll see later on.
Leg underlines, foot underline, tail underline size equals.
So this is all like the different parameters of the Fox.
Body underline blank. Module upper underline clamp underline part left parent right parent left brace.
Alright, so this is a module for the upper part of the clamp.
Difference left parent right parent left brace.
And what you can hear here is that difference and
union left parent right brace.
Union. Basically what this is that it's Boolean operations in OpenSCAD. And what is that? Well, it basically means that, let's say you want to subtract or remove an inner cavity of, say, the cup holder. Well, you would use one of the Boolean operations.
Cylinder left parent D equals outer underline diameter comma H equals height right parent semicolon blank 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 / tapering.
And when it says that blank, it just means that it skips empty lines. So don't worry about that.
Translate left parent left bracket minus 20 comma dash upper underline diameter dash 3 comma height star dot 5 right bracket right parent.
So this requires a little bit explanation. Translation in OpenSCAD language means that you're moving stuff around. And when it says
Blank.
Let's take it.
Space. Translate.
Translate.
Left parent left bracket dash 20.
Dash 20. It basically means minus 20. That means that you're moving something minus 20 millimeters on the x-axis. Now that is a concept which is pretty tough to grasp for a blind person. Well, it is for me at least. And I usually need help with my translations because even though you have everything here in numbers and code, well, sometimes I mess it up.
Cube left parent left bracket clamp underline height comma 60 comma clamp underline height dash 25 right bracket right parent semicolon right brace slash upper section.
So this is basically the clamp that I'm creating, and you can hear it says cube, and this is because you use some of the like you can use cubes, cylinders, spheres.
Translate left
Depending on what you want to create.
Slash upper section. Translate left parent left bracket 0 comma base underline thickness plus step underline height right bracket right parent.
So this is the upper part of the column.
Cylinder left parent D equals upper underline diameter comma H equals height right parent semicolon blank slash lower section.
Lower section.
Translate left parent left bracket 0 comma base underline thickness right bracket right parent.
And as you can hear, it says
comma 0 left translate left 0 comma
0, which basically means that I'm not translating anything either on the x or y axis.
Comma
and then
base underline thickness.
It says comma base underline thickness.
Right bracket right parent blank.
And this means that I'll be moving the base thickness.
Cylinder left parent D equals lower underline diameter comma H equals height right parent blank slash subtracting clamp hole for bolt and nut.
Subtracting clamp hole, and you'll see this later on when I print it out. But basically I wanted to be able to attach the cup holder to the handlebar with a bolt and nut.
Translate left parent left bracket 0 comma dash upper underline diameter plus 16 comma 0 right bracket right parent. Cylinder left parent height comma 6 right parent semicolon right brace blank.
And this basically means that I'm creating a hole with a diameter of 6 millimeters. That is for the bolt.
Blank slash fox ear module. Module fox underline ear left parent left brace.
So here I'm taking the ear that we saw earlier in the code and implementing it on the cup holder.
Difference left parent resize left parent left bracket ear underline size slash 2 comma ear underline size rotate left parent left bracket 0 comma 0 right bracket right parent.
And the rotate command is basically, well, what it says to rotate an object.
Cylinder left parent H equals ear underline blank. Translate left parent left bracket 0 comma ear underline size slash 2 right bracket right parent.
So here we're moving.
Resize left parent, rotate left parent, cylinder left parent H right brace blank.
I'm just scrolling a bit fast through this.
Blank.
Because it's just a bunch of a lot of code.
Blank. Module fox underline head left parent left brace.
So this is the module of the fox head.
Blank. Translate left parent left bracket fox underline length slash 2 comma 0 comma dash fox underline height slash 2 right bracket right parent.
It's much easier for you when you create OpenSCAD code to split your design up in different modules. That will be way easier for you to handle. So hereby a recommendation.
Union left parent left brace. Resize left parent sphere left
Right.
blank.
This is
Translate left parent left bracket fox underline length slash 10 resize sphere blank slash fox eyes. Translate left slash.
the fox eyes. Well, I kind of created them so they kind of bulge out of the head, which isn't like, well, it's not really like fox-like, but it's possible to feel that way. So
Translate left parent left bracket fox underline length slash 8 resize sphere blank. Translate sphere right blank module cup underline holder left parent left brace.
all right, so this is the module for the cup.
Difference left parent left brace. Union left parent left brace. Cylinder left parent D equals outer underline diameter H equals height right parent semicolon blank slash fox head. Translate left parent left bracket 0 upper underline diameter dash 95 height slash 2 right bracket right parent.
So this, what I'm doing here is that I'm moving the fox head onto the position of the cup holder where I want it to be. And that is difficult. Sometimes, that is difficult for me as a blind person because I cannot visually inspect it all the time. I need to be 100% sure that what I'm doing here is absolutely correct, which I'm definitely not. Like, I'm not 100% sure all the time. So this is a lot of trial and error, and I need to like export STLs and have sighted people describe it to me so that I understand how did I move it, how did I rotate it, are the ear pointing upwards, downwards? Yeah, basically, it's very difficult.
Rotate left parent left bracket 0, 90 right bracket right parent.
So this is the rotation part. This one is rotated on the Z-axis. Like, yeah, again, very difficult to understand when you can't visually and or tactilely explore the object that I'm working with.
Union left parent right parent. Left brace translate left parent left bracket fox underline length slash 6 0 fox rotate left parent left bracket fox under blank.
Right.
Translate left rotate fox blank. Translate left parent left bracket fox underline length slash 1.5 rotate fox right blank slash tapering. Translate left parent left bracket minus 20 dash up cube right slash sil blank slash lower section. Translate left parent left bracket 0 cylinder blank slash blank.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Slash blank slash main body of the clamp.
All right.
Module clamp underline body left parent left brace.
So the way I did it is that I have a part. I have the upper part of the clamp, which is like separate, so that I can adjust it however I want. Like, you'll see it afterwards. It's just like a separate piece of the cup holder clamp. Whereas the lower part is directly attached onto the cup holder.
Translate left parent left bracket difference left parent left brace cylinder left right brace tran cube right brace right blank slash snap feature. Module snap underline feature left parent left brace. Rotate left parent left bracket 0 gap underline angle slash 2-5 right bracket right parent. Translate left parent left bracket handlebar underline diameter slash 2 plus clamp underline thickness slash 2 0 right bracket right parent.
And this is basically like how I wanted, how tight a grip I want on the handlebar.
Rotate linear polygon left linear underline extrude left parent height equals clamp underline thickness center equals true right parent. Rotate left parent left bracket
linear extrude is like when you create a 2D object and you extrude it into 3D. So that's
left bracket polygon left
for?
parent left bracket 0 left bracket dash clamp underline left right blank module rib underline shape left parent left brace. Translate left parent left bracket minus 25 minus 4 5 rotate linear hole left translate circle blank translate left parent left bracket.
This is just like a lot of
blank translate hole left parent right.
The whole command.
Translate left parent circle left parent 1 blank
is another like it's good for like more smooth features.
Translate left parent left bracket circle left blank. Translate left parent left bracket circle right blank slash clamp taper. Module clamp underline taper left parent left brace.
Alright, this is the clamp taper.
Rotate linear hold circle blank. Translate left pair circle blank. Translate circle right blank slash final clamp assembly.
Final clamp assembly.
Module snap underline clamp difference left parent right clamp underline body right brace slash blank slash main assembly. Blank left brace blank translate left parent left bracket 0 comma dash upper underline diameter dash rotate snap blank.
So we're almost done.
Slash text inscription.
Text inscription. Now basically what I want to do is change the text here because, well, I actually need to print a cup holder for a colleague of mine. So yeah.
Difference left parent left brace. Cup underline holder left parent semicolon.
So
blank translate left parent left bracket 0 comma height star 0.6 right parent. Rotate left parent linear underline extrude left parent height equals 50 right parent. Text left parent quote Eliogville quote comma size equals 6 comma font equals quote Helvetica colon style equals bold quote comma Allen equals quote center quote comma Valen equals quote center quote right parent semicolon.
And this is just basically like to declare the text and what size the text should be and how it should be placed and all that. So let's change.
Will quote size quote will L-E space L-E-O-G space
and
start I-L-D-E
Wille
quote comma Wild va L-E va quote left quote.
We'll change it to
Nico quote E
Nicoline
I quote C-O-L-I-E quote comma space side quote comma side equals 6 comma
let's increase
6
this to
7 comma 7 space 7 comma right brace blank right brace blank slash bottom clamp blank translate left parent left bracket mirror left parent left bracket 0 comma.
The mirror part is just to, you know, have it mirrored from the top part.
Left brace blank translate left rotate snap blank slash text inscription.
All right, text inscription one more time.
Difference upper under.
Make it a part of the cup.
Blank translate cylinder blank translate rotate left rotate linear text left pair equals size quote wild quote will Ellie that quote markering Nico quote left quote stored quote E quote comma size equals 6 comma 6 7 space F right text left right blank.
And that's it. That's the cup holder. Now what I'll do from here is I will select all of the text and then what I'll do is I'll copy the text, close down the notes block,
Control W enter
and then I will open OpenSCAD. 1 second.
Over Lidmic Kilder Scener list box browse note cat scene 1 F6 Windows M script N enter Styfinder append enter map of listening N OpenSCAD enter.
All right, here we go. And I'm just waiting for it to load. So you can see, like, it can be very, very difficult.
Control N showed it.
It can be very difficult for me to keep track of everything that's going on, especially with such a long code. But what I'd recommend, especially if you're blind, that when you're building your code and creating it, try to break it down into smaller pieces. Like first, like, you know, declare what the different dimensions are. Try making it one module at a time, and then try rendering it. See if it will render successfully, and like that, keep building it up. Now what I'll do here is
seed in front untitled.scad star dash OpenSCAD fast tillo untitled.
What I'll do here
titler untitled.scad untitled
is I will
OpenSCAD untitled right
I will paste the code, and then I will hit F6, and that's to get a render.
F6
And so this is a very big piece of code. What I can do here is I will be able to...
Untitled. That venture.
1 second.
Untitled. Opens. Untitled.
Here we go. What I'll be able to do here is I would be able to go...
Editor console.
Enter
for later menu work. CGAL dot rendering polygon mesh using CGAL dot.
Rendering polygon meshes, and this will take a lot of time, I think. So I will just sign out for 1 second, and then I'll be back.
Skip mel. Kilder list box. See tilfage styrene stop optigals checkbox mark seed optigals pause checkbox icky mark millennium icky. Untitled.
All right, so finally the render finished, and let's see here. I will go
Editor,
to the
console
console
enter
and
rendering finished period.
Rendering finished. All right.
Error log enter
Error log.
File line info object may not be a valid 2-manifold and may need repair exclaim.
Yeah, all right. Even though I've gotten this error a lot of times, it doesn't really affect anything. At least so far that I've done it. Anyway, right now I will export this as an STL. Press F7.
F7. Export STL.
And I will call it cup holder.
Cup holder. Map 3D. Start enter.
Save it here.
Map film enter.
All
Untitled.
Right. Now we're done.
Alt F4. Open. Discard net. Enter. Ops 3 1.0.
Okay. So from here, if this was a totally new design, what I'll do now is I'll go to an online slicer called AstroPrint.
Stop start see veri over lidmix kilder scener list box bam astro scenes.
So let's see here.
Open ops 3 1 OpenSCAD -202 escape alt F4 ops 3
and
Windows Google enter.
Go to Google.
Knife
AstroPrint.
enter valve astro.
All right.
Tiddler. Navigate 3.
Okay. So AstroPrint is an online slicer that works with a screen reader.
Cloud Live.
And I'll show you how.
Basic link your account. Smart enter.
My account.
Astros. Virtual P. S launch basic design. Enter.
Design library.
Virtual.
So
rotated -100.
What I'll do here is I'll upload the cup holder to AstroPrint.
Veil enter. Film of stiff icky valve door bottom stiff start enter.
And that's
icky valve Camino D icky valve cup holder enter.
Cup holder
design
right here. So the reason why I'm doing this is because what I intend to do now is that I want to upload this, then I want to slice it, and then I want to take screenshots from different perspectives so that ChatGPT can describe those for me later. I'm also experimenting with Google's AI where I can share my screen in real time, but that's for another video. Anyway, so let's see here.
Couple ZJ1 link print 1.91 MB.
Okay, so it's almost
link
2 megabytes.
Enter.
I'll hit
print link.
Here.
Slice
and slice.
Enter. Design virtual.
So
ops.
Let me.
Kilder. Scener. AstroPrint. Design virtual.
So here I can see the different details of the print.
Link 3 license. Link graphic Google Play license share of number link. Couple link 3D view. License size :147 x 181 x 110 mm.
All right.
Size :
So on the x-axis
147.
It's 147
X 181
times 181 on the z-axis, on the y-axis, sorry, and then
X.
on the z-axis
110.
It's 110. So let's see here. Let me just quickly
Scramble
delete
enter.
the old screenshots so that I
Skip
don't
select.
mix that up.
So escape. Design middle dot title. Escape. So Installinger scramble comma film Installant. Scarmbillet. Enter.
Here we go.
Scarmbillet. Valve. Skip. Sled. Enter.
All
Alt
right.
F4. Design.
So we're back here
Does
in the Astro Print
Link
slicer.
R pop-up menu edit.
And what I'll do now is I'll
Enter.
hit the edit.
Vert.
And from here, I'll be able to,
Build.
as you can see
Edit.
here,
Over script Niveau 5 link move.
I can move
Over
it.
script Niveau 5 link scale.
I can scale
Over
it,
script Niveau 5 link rotate.
rotate,
Over script Niveau 5 link cut.
cut.
Light Med 3.
And that's basically what I can do here, which is not, unfortunately, accessible using the Bamboo Studio slicer. Now what I'll do here is I will,
Z light link plus link that link position right.
you can hear it says position right.
Enter.
I'll hit that.
Unscroll
Take a
link
screenshot.
position behind. Enter.
Position behind.
Unscroll link
Screenshot.
enter. Unscroll link position up. Enter.
Position up.
Unscroll link
Screenshot.
position left. Enter.
Left.
Unscroll scan nav.
Screenshot. So now I have 5 different screenshots. Let's go to ChatGPT and see what
Enter. For enter.
it says to
Chat.
that.
Ops 3. Astro. Notes. Browser. Cats. Browser.
Okay.
Virtual.
Here.
Tiddler. Redask. Chat. Fast. Till. Program.
Oops.
Chat. Ops 3. Chat. Jeep. Maximra.
Here we
Folder.
have
Rediger. Icky.
ChatGPT.
Vet F5. Enter.
Now
Menu.
you
4 dash upload. Enter. 4 later.
do
Metis.
this
Stiff. iGuard folded.
and
Start. Nivos. Enter. Map of. Valved. Enter. Chat. East.
import the different.
Annuller nap. Veil Gananden fill nap. Enter. Chat G.
Oops.
Is chat.
One
Edit.
here.
Icky vet F. Enter. Met 4 dash upload. Enter. Piece.
Upload.
Die.
I'm not used to my screen reader talking so slow.
iGuard folded. Stiff. Start power. Niveau 0. Scriverbird ob. Niveau 1. Start power. Niveau 0. Scriverbird.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Billiter left parent fast. Right pair. Enter. Stiffen. Icky valve. Scarmbiliter. Enter.
There we
Stiffen.
go.
Scarmbil. Valve. Enter.
Import
Chat
here.
GP.
All right. So we have all the 5
Read.
screenshots
Enter.
here.
Blank.
What I'll do is now I will say describe this 3D object to me in as much detail as possible. Do not describe the interface.
Enter.
And so now it's describing
Read it. Ask.
what it sees.
Read the article over article. Read ask. Read it based on the 3D.
And let's see here. We'll use the ChatGPT voice to have this described.
Bullet.
So
Bullet at the base of the cylinder, comma. There is a rectangular flat area with a hole, comma. Likely meant for screws or bolts. Light design. Light as light say. Light if Rico got Svarnak or read aloud.
read aloud. Let's hear this.
Enter.
Based on the 3D object displayed in the uploaded images, here's a detailed description of the object. 1. Overall shape and main body. The object has a cylindrical central body, which appears to be the primary component. This cylinder is upright and smooth, serving as the foundation for the additional features attached to it. 2. Functional features. The cylinder has multiple extensions. One extension curves outward and upward, resembling a hook. This is likely designed for holding or attaching something. A smaller curved arm is attached near the base, possibly as a support or a secondary attachment point. On the opposite side of the main hook, there is another feature resembling a smaller holder or clamp. It could be used to secure something cylindrical or fit into another component. 3. Attachment points. At the base of the cylinder, there is a rectangular flat area with a hole, likely meant for screws or bolts to attach the object to another surface securely. Another similar flat extension is located on the opposite side, which might also serve as a mounting point. 4. Design features. The object includes a rounded shape protrusion near the middle of the cylinder. This might serve an aesthetic purpose or add structural integrity to the design. The object seems symmetrical in certain aspects, though the hooks and mounting areas are placed strategically for functionality. 5. Secondary component. One image shows an additional small rectangular component with a circular hole. This part seems separate, but likely complements the main object, perhaps as a mounting bracket or additional support piece. 6. Purpose and application. The object appears to be a functional part, potentially a mounting bracket, a clamp, or a holder for specific tools or objects. Its curved hooks and mounting points suggest it's designed for use in a modular or industrial setup, possibly for a cylindrical item like a pipe or tube. If you have a specific purpose for this design or want feedback on adjustments, feel free to share.
All right, let's close this down.
Alt F4, Ops 3, 1, Scener, Cat, Notes Block, Bamboo,
And get ready
Windows
to
M, Script,
work
and Enter,
in
Panel.
Bamboo Studio. So as you can hear from the description, I mean, it kind of is right. Kind of too many attachment places. It kind of got it correctly that it's like
Panel.
a holder of some sort. Not really for pipes or anything like that, but yeah, it's this is exactly why like 3D designing is difficult and challenging
GL.
as a person without sight. I can tell you that I spent like, well, maybe a little month or something like that creating this, and I don't know how much material I like wasted because of the like snap mechanism. I tried everything and it didn't really work. So yeah, but well, now I know what I'll get when I print this. But as you could hear, like from the description, this could be very, very confusing for someone intending to create a cup holder with a clamp that you can attach with the Fox head and with some text. It didn't even say that there was any text on it. But let's see if we can print it, and let's see what will happen.
Focuser Flip, prepare, pre-divide, rod, divide, EV.
I will just
Panel.
Check my
Flip
device
job,
here.
Edis, prepare, RE.
It's good.
Prepare,
And
PC mark,
I
flip,
will
what's the product? Wall layer height, 0, comma.
make sure to sync my filament.
Nat 1, bamboo block panel. Nat, enter, sync,
Here we go.
enter, untitled,
And
enter, sync,
resync.
resync, enter, untitled.
Yes. And now I will import.
Control I, film of stiff, icky valve, door bot. Start, enter.
I will
Map of
import
Camino DB, cup
the
holder, 8F, enter,
holder.
untitled dash bamboo studio, control, loading.
All right. And now I will
Flip job.
check what preset slicer profile I'm using.
What blank, process 0.20 mm, strength at BBLX1C.
Strength.
Quality X1 at BBS start B, panel,
That's good.
PC, couple, 0, 0, 0, enter,
I
panel,
will
couple,
stick with
GL,
that. I will make sure it's auto oriented. It's not really working all the time, but yeah. And I will enable support.
filament 1 nap 3 process 0 quality layer other support UV. Panel,
Here we
flip,
go.
other TAER blank support piece, nap for millennium, normal, 3 left.
And I will use tree support because that's, in my opinion, easiest to remove. I will hit Control R to slice the object.
Control R. GL canvas.
And let's wait here. Now the difficult part here, while it's slicing, I can explain that. See, it would be very beneficial for me if I could rotate and move the object around myself in here. But unfortunately, Bamboo Studio is not really that accessible. So I have to get help. I have to use AstroPrint, but it's all good. I mean, people are willing to help me, so I'm very thankful for that, for enabling me like this. All right, so as you can hear, it doesn't really give me any indication of whether it's done slicing. I will just assume that it's finished, and I will hit Control-Shift-G.
Control Shift G, send print job to dialog, cup holder 6H21M213, 24G printer panel.
Okay,
Flip.
so let's take this.
Send cup holder.
Cup holder.
6H21M.
It will take 6 hours and 21 minutes to print.
213, 24. G. 213 space 213, 24 space.
And it will cost
4
me
3121. 2 4 space
213.24
G.
grams of filament.
PEA1.
And I'm using PETG A1, which means that it's the filament that it's in my A1 slot.
Send.
Send, print job.
Enter panel 10%.
And let's see here. It's working its way.
31%.
31%.
100%. Cup holder.
Right. So it's 100%. And I'm just waiting for the printer to start. So let's hear if that will start. And this is also very tedious sometimes, but I love that sound when it finally kicks into motion, For those of you who have been printing know how awesome that sound is. I remember back like when I first got my printer, I would, I know it's kind of weird, but I kind of like the smell. So yeah, that's strange. All right, so it finally started. And now I will show you how I can monitor the print.
Kilder, Lipsy, Vera, Tilford, Steyr, Stop Optajos, Chemilemrum, Stop Optajos Quest.
So here I have my iPhone. It's an iPhone 15 Pro, and I'm using something called VoiceOver, and VoiceOver is basically another screen reader app that basically tells me everything that I interact with on the screen. And the way that I do that is by swiping, doing different gestures. So like if I swipe my finger right, calendar, bamboo handy, and that's what I need. Double tap with one finger 2 times. And the reason why I do this is because like if I double tap anywhere on the screen with one finger, it will open the app that VoiceOver just mentioned. So like Bamboo Handy, and I don't really need to hit the exact same spot where Bamboo Handy is. And the reason for that is because, well, VoiceOver is developed for blind people, so naturally they would assume that you cannot hit exactly where you need to hit. So yeah. But in here,
message set add brand Edis Bamboo Lab X1cc busy.
All right, so it says Edis Bamboo Lab busy, and yeah, I can hear that as well. So let's see here if I swipe my finger right.
Brand under add printer.
Add printer.
Settings.
Settings.
Message button.
Message, and then it says button, which means that it's a button I can press. Bamboo Handy is also not like 100% accessible, but it's manageable. So I'll keep swiping right.
Luffy view play button. Time lapse unable to record image. Cup holder.
Cup holder. All right. Let's see here.
3/550.
3/550. So 3 out of 550 layers have been printed so far.
Printed layers. 4%.
4%.
4% minus 6H5M.
So I still have 6 hours and 5 minutes left of this.
Skip image. Pause.
I can pause it.
Stop.
I can stop the print.
Printer image. 245 degrees C.
It's 245 degrees Celsius. That's the nozzle temperature.
70 degrees C.
70 degrees. That's the bed temperature. And then
100%.
100%. That's the speed. So as you can see here, that's basically how I use the phone to monitor the print. If I wanted to to check the first layer or anything like that, I would just pause the print and just carefully feel the first print. But yeah, let's see what will happen when the print is done.
Calendar, Mandag 27 Bamboo Handy. Trick to Ganj for Adobe. Bamboo Handy. Livy View. Message set add brand Edis Bamboo Lab X1cc. Busy. Brand under add printer. Settings. Message button image. Livy View play button time lapse unable to one image cup holder 3/550 printed layers 4% 4% minus 6H5M skip image pause stop printer image 245 degrees C 70 degrees C 100%.
All right, so the printer is finished and let's see what has happened here. So first of all, I'll take this and I'll take this. So here we go. We have a beautiful cup holder with some support on it. Let me just remove that real quick. And I'll just use my pocket for trash at the moment. And then we will see. And I'll also use the floor. God damn it. That's like one of the toughest part of this is with all this, like these small pieces of support. Anyway, let me just, here we go, beautiful. I usually use tree support because that's much easier in my opinion to remove. And yeah, it's very good. So let's see here, that's done, that's good. And I think this is it. So here you go, you have a beautiful cup holder. You see you have the handle here, and oh yeah, I got the other part with a little support on it as well. Actually, I should have printed this in a different orientation, but yeah, it's all good. I think it will be perfect. All right, so here we go. Boom, done. Got the fox head, which is quite stylistic, but anyway, it's all good. You got the name inscription, and you got the upper part of the clamp. You put it down, and you put a bolt in the hole, and you tighten, and you can put it on a baby stroller. Now, 1 second, I just want to show you one more thing, because I usually, what I do is, I will use an app called Be My Eyes. Let me just slow it down for you. And 1 second. Let's see here. My phone is lagging for some strange reason. Anyway, what I want to show you is that I use this app called Be My Eyes. And what that does is it takes a photo and then it can describe like what's on it. And what I want to do is I want to take a picture of the name inscription and see if it's the name that I wanted to use.
Samantha, portrait.
All right.
Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes.
And 1 second.
Tab bar. Take picture.
Take picture. Okay, let's see. Now remember, it's a blind guy taking a picture. But let's see what will happen.
Analyzing picture. Please wait.
All right. Let's hear this.
The image shows a hand holding a white object that resembles a mug or a container with a handle. The word Nicolini is printed on the side of the object.
Boom!
In the background, there is a modern black and white lamp with a dome-shaped shade, which is turned on and casting light. The setting appears to be indoors, with plain light-colored walls and a ceiling visible.
That's awesome. So I got the name correct. It's written clearly. Beautiful. This is done in PETG. White, maybe not the best color choice, but whatever. I think it will be fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's how a blind person can create something using OpenSCAD, which is more complex than just your typical, standard shapes. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to share it with your friends, and yeah, stay tuned and check in for other videos. Cheers.